Good morning. So the weather today is really bad, so I'm not going to be out for too long. This is more an introduction for a video from Harlequin over in Australia. There's not much going on. I had a few technical issues with my computer setup that I'm not going to go into because they were full of hassle. But essentially it is really raining. I don't know if the camera can pick up how heavily it's raining. It's proper chucking it down. So yeah, ain't nothing going on but the rain. So given that day 7 is our weekly recap, essentially all I want to do is, I haven't lost any weight. I'm still 96.5 kilos. I did have a few bigger meals. I think next week I'm going to go to much less meat. I made the mistake of buying some bacon and I think it's really slowed me up. You know, I've had a few meals that weren't as healthy as they could have been. So yeah, so next week I'm going to go for as much vegetarian food and as much low fat food as I can manage, as well as get back into the whole exercise thing. I have missed out one of the gym days. You know, everybody needs some time out. There's a few things going on in my life that I'll probably tell you about at a later date once they're solved. But aside from that, I thought I'd at least try and commit to making sure there's at least one video a day. Haven't had much luck with the lucid dreaming or the sleep learning. Had a couple of late nights at work, but I'm still getting out there. So I've just literally come on the running track. I don't even know how well this video is going to come out, purely because it's just raining so amazingly hard. So we're going to cut to somewhere that has nicer weather, even though it's colder there. So we're going to run VT on Harlequin's efforts in Australia. I've literally come out for like a 10-minute walk, so I'm getting some exercise, and I'll be working today. But some video is better than no video, I think. I think I want to at least commit to making one video a day for the whole of this, for the main part of the project. I'm also going to be including the Patreon details. Thank you very much to my patrons, and I'll be including Patreon and contributor credits. Because essentially, thanks to the efforts of some people out there that are watching this, even though it hasn't even really been advertised yet, I think I squandered a good weather day on Friday where I could have shot the trailer for the video. But yeah, it progresseth. I'm pretty disappointed that we're nearly in June and we've got a whole week of rain, which could seriously affect my ability to film. I mean, I did set this up for the summer, but hey ho. I think most of the population of Manchester is going to be staying in. So thank you very much to the people that have contributed: Avagdu, Misanthropic Gods, Zoo Echoes, and others. It's appreciated. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there.
Alright, there's the cricket oval, there's the cricket pitch, and oh, very soon in. There's me. Perhaps I'm in the track, I can't tell. No screen. Come on, play. As you can see, the black and white terrier is in the shed again for another. Well, today was a jog. So yeah, day 3, which is actually my Thursday, was the first It was sort of run fast, run slow, which I had lost my timings for, and I'd lost my phone for, and I don't have a watch, so I've ordered a watch. And I found my phone, but only afterwards. Anyway, so that was Thursday my time. Now it's Saturday. I don't know what date it is. I think it's the 25th. For all of those who took part in the general strike yesterday, congratulations. Yeah. Today was just jog walk for 15 minutes, so jog as far as you can, walk as far as you can. Jogged pretty much fine apart from when I hit the biggest hill there is on the track, which was there, and I had about 30 seconds worth of walking. So that was alright. Jogged the rest of the way, slowed down a bit on the wooden bridge and had a stretch because my calves and legs were very tight. 10 seconds and kept on jogging. I made it all around in 15 minutes. Nothing too scary, nothing too bad. It's like 9:20 now, so a bit late out of bed. I didn't have to go to work today, but it's nice to have a bit of a sleep in and just wake up when I wanted to at about 8 o'clock, and then get up and do all those things. Yeah, and then get out here. Dog didn't manage to kill anyone this time, which was good. Dog decided to knock with some other dogs. She decided to knock someone over on Thursday night when it was very dark. But yeah, Thursday was alright. The run was alright. Managed to keep it up for the time required. Oh, sorry, arms are sore. Here's a selfie stick. Yeah, that was good. And what else happened? Lots of items, obviously. Not much really. Just still, everyone's sick, so that doesn't help. I ended up with one day at work this week. Supposed to have a whole week off to do uni stuff, and ended up with doing a lunch service, which was very busy and very strange. Not entirely unexpected or unpleasant, but just more of a, I want to get this thing done before I have to go home, and this thing kept getting in the way of, things kept getting in the way of this thing. But yeah, that's always the nature of catering though, I think, especially when making pizzas for masses. I thought more of being a pizza chef. That was one of the interesting things. So I decided in my third trimester, so we're just finishing first trimester here in Australia. Second trimester starts in about a month. So in third trimester, which is sort of over the school holidays, I decided to do a digital media society unit as part of my degree, which is a bit weird. I've read about it before, and it's all about using social media platforms, digital media platforms, to do things with. Which is one of the things, you know how to do it, but then it's what's the research behind it? What is, how does society use it, and how does it reflect on society, and how does it reflect on society, and how does society reflect on it? Which is interesting, because there's always this idea of a narrative. There's always this idea of a story. When you talk to someone else, unless you're having a very rational discussion, I am doing this thing, you are doing that thing, together we have completed this thing. That's very rational, very analytical, let's say. But there's also, when you move into the social sphere, there's things like Snapchat, things like Twitter, which are very much I think, this is my story, this is what I want to do. Look at Facebook. Like Facebook is basically you building up a story of your timeline of your life, which is not really real. It doesn't involve you doing the washing up, does it? It doesn't involve you going to the bathroom, unless of course you like toilet jokes, which is up to you, I suppose. But it's not real life, is what I'm saying. This is slightly more gutturally real life, isn't the whole urban agogi thing, because it's it's a bit more raw, a bit more candid, let's say, in that you can see that I'm a sweaty pile of heaving mess, although I'm getting better at not being a sweaty pile of heaving mess. And you can see what V's doing. You can see that he's doing all the exercises and doing bits and pieces. That's the whole idea of it, is to give support where support's really due. Anyone can stand on anyone can take drugs, stand on a platform, looking buff, and make a fool of themselves and tell everyone else how much they can do. it's another thing to prove it, you know. There was an interesting, I'm sure we'll talk about more of the podcast, there's an interesting documentary that was made in Australia 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was. Might be longer than that now. Which made international and national news. Sorry, made national and international news, make more sense. About a guy, personal trainer, PJ, who he'd been, you know, he's a swimsuit model and all the rest of it type thing. Had worked in fashion for yonks, and he decided he was going to experience what the rest of us feel, which is he went from being, I think, 78 or 80 kilos basically, like on the money, and being like, you know, down with bugger all fat. He basically went and just stopped exercising and just ate and ate and ate and ate shit constantly. And he basically worked out that in 6 months he could put on, go up to 120 kilos, so he could put on like half his body weight again. So from 80 kilos to 120 kilos, and then he went back down. In the subsequent 6 months, he started exercising, started doing, you know, whatever, and he got himself back to 80 kilos. But it was interesting, more the journey, and you know, it's always a portrayal of stuff. What's there a car up there? Could be interesting. Come here, dog. An interesting portrayal of, you know, what he went through, and also I found it more interesting for the fact that what the specialists were talking about and how nutritional science and exercise science and all that stuff, what it assesses when it does stuff. That was more interesting to me. I'm guessing that's the council truck driving up and down the path. I don't know why anyone would be going for a four-wheel drive up the most boring path in the world. Hopefully they don't come in this one. But yeah, it's actually a road. The road like rundown is actually a deserted road. It's just no one ever uses it. It goes between the sports park and Back Creek Road. It's mainly used as a way through for the fireys when they have to put things out. Plateau'd. They don't have to put anything out this year around here. We do need a low-level backbone around most of town, but that's just the nature of living in Australia, where the whole world, the whole of Australia was basically, Indigenous Australians basically govern the land by using fire as a tool, using fire as a farming tool. Anyone who thinks that, you know, Aboriginal Australians didn't farm is absolute fucking bullshit. You know, it's absolute just trite that they didn't farm. You know, they didn't have a plough, but my God, did they farm? You know, more research required. If you want to know more about it, then I suggest you start with Les Higgins, the Bush Tucker Man. Les is in L-E-S, Higgins, I think it's H-I-G-G-E-N-S, Higgins. He was a major in the army, and he went around to do research into all of the foods that were available off the land and how they were ready and where they went, and actually got printed on the back of all of the Army's Ordnance Survey maps for the troops. So they reissued the maps, and he was going around doing research and putting pictures and images like botanical drawings and taking and then writing up where things would be found and how to do stuff. So that should the likes of the Tomorrow series, I go and read the Tomorrow series by, I can't think of the author's name now. I want to say Jackman, but it's not Jackman. It's famous. Tomorrow When the War Began is the first one, and it's the Ellie Chronicles. Keeps going on after that. A very cool piece of Australian teen literature. You'll literally knock it over in a day. They made an ABC series of it. They made a film of the first one, which wasn't as good as everything. It wasn't as good as the book. The book delves far more into the mentality and psychology of post-traumatic stress, and also just being human, I suppose. Love and all that sort of jazz. Love and suffering and all those things. Yeah. So yeah, new things on the horizon. Interesting subject coming up in third trimester. Interesting subject coming up in second trimester. In second trimester, yeah. Mindfulness, which is a study of how mindfulness came out of Buddhism, where all the Buddhist texts are on meditation. It's interesting that I'm going to get this wrong. The Southeast Asian form of Buddhism, which I think is Mahayana form Buddhism. I've probably got that wrong. There's the Vijnana, which is the Tibetan one, and then there's the Mahayana, and then there's the other one, which I can't remember the name off the top of my head. There's the lesser vehicle, the greater vehicle, and then the Tibetan. Anyway, the lesser vehicle basically lost, from all the stuff I've read, they basically lost the idea of meditation as a thing to do. You know, they were basically more like a clergy than they were anything else. And that's really interesting. They rediscovered it back in the, I think it was the 50s, but it might have been later than that. These monks started doing research into these ideas, and they worked it out. Fascinating idea. So the modern day creation of meditation really is a recreation of something in the Southeast Asian tradition, but it comes more, I think, from the Chan or Zen, the same thing. Chan and Zen mean the same thing, just different languages. Chan being Chinese and Zen being Buddhist. So Zazen just means to sit and to sit. That's what sitting is. Sitting Zazen. That's that special sitting position. But yeah, so that was fascinating. So yeah, doing mindfulness, myth and ritual, which is all about one of my favourite characters in all of the books. We'll come back to that later. Yeah, and bits and pieces, lots of reading to do as always. Trying to get more organised. So I've actually, one of those things to make me more organised is I've actually downloaded. I've looked up all the books I can't access. I actually have to buy, and I purchased them already. And I'm not, I'm in my last week of trimester, so I actually got a couple of weeks before they turn up. I've also got all of the readings that I'm supposed to do for the 11 weeks of my course. I have multiple readings in a week I'm supposed to do. So the idea is, and we'll see how well it goes, is that I'm going to clone all of the readings onto things like the phone, tablet that I use, my laptop that I use, my main computer that I use, and basically sit down and have them cloned across all the things. So when I have time, or when I don't have time, but when I have to do the reading, I can just sit down and knock out, a reading a day. A reading's about a chapter long, so it's not, not untold. It's, you just have to read the damn thing more than once to actually get it in your head and realise what the hell's going on. So the idea is to get the reading done and dusted, very much at the start of the course. So when we come back to something something's highlighted, reread it, for a second or third time, and already have the notes written up. Because as with everyone, I am to be honest, I'm fucking the worst person to get organised ever. Excuse my swearing. The worst person to ever get organised ever. And which is proven by the fact that I can't make a video a day. I am getting better though. Yeah, if the footage is better, by the way, then tell me, because I'm using the action camera, and I'd like to know. I still don't have a selfie stick, but okay, I bought a selfie stick. But he did tell me which size bolt I needed to manufacture myself one with a piece of wood. And my pack frame turned up, so I've got to do something about that. Tomorrow is a lovely walk. Hopefully it's not completely chucking it down. Hopefully it's just like this. Yeah. Alright then. Well, I'll see you all later. Have fun. And enjoy yourself till then. Ta-ra.